Source-Nexus Control Panel is a utility app included with Source-Nexus Suite that provides a way to manage your Source-Nexus virtual audio devices. When you open up the app, you will see a list of all the current devices installed on the system. Here we see the default devices that are installed, and I'll go through them real quick. The default ones are Source-Nexus A and B, which are both 24 channels, and those can be used for anything. The other devices from Nexus Chat, Nexus System Audio, 2Nexus Broadcasts, and 2Nexus Chat are all installed to be used with the Source-Nexus Review plugin. It's not recommended to remove the default audio devices as they are required for the Source-Nexus Review plugin and application. If one is missing for any reason, Source-Nexus Review will show an error message describing the missing audio device and how to fix it, which can be done by adding the missing device manually here in the Source-Nexus Control Panel. We can add a new device by clicking the plus icon here in the upper right corner. Next, we can set a custom name for the device and the desired number of channels, which you can do up to 64 channels. I'm just going to leave it as Source-Nexus for now, and we'll make it 64 channels. Why not? And now here you'll see it in the control panel, and you'll also see that it has been added in the audio MIDI setup and to core audio immediately, and we can see it here. To remove a device, we'll simply hover over the device in the list in Source-Nexus Control Panel and click the X icon that pops up. And again, you'll see the changes immediately reflected here in Audio MIDI Setup. We can also modify a device by clicking on it and then making any changes that we desire. So if I wanted to change the Source-Nexus A device, maybe either to give it a new name, we'll call it Source-Nexus I, and maybe I want this to have some more channels, so we'll make it 30 channels. And now you can see the change has been made here and also here again in Audio MIDI Setup. Creating custom audio devices becomes very useful when you plan to use Source-Nexus to route audio to and from several different applications on the system. For example, if we want to set up routing to SourceConnect, we can add two different devices named to SourceConnect and from SourceConnect to use as dedicated devices for this, and then set these as the I/O in SourceConnect and in the Source-Nexus I/O plugin or wherever else on the system we want to access them. This way we know exactly what these devices are for, and we don't have to worry about audio from other sources on these devices. Those can have their own dedicated devices too. So let me go ahead and set that up. I'm going to bring up a Pro Tools session with the Source-Nexus I/O plugin, and we'll just set our send device here to go to SourceConnect, and we're going to receive from SourceConnect. And next we'll open SourceConnect, go to the settings, and then also set our input here to SourceConnect, and our output is from SourceConnect. And now we can see that my mic signal is showing levels in the Nexus plugin and in SourceConnect here. And if I go ahead and just do a quick test connection, we should see the receive end come back. So I'll just connect to an echo. And now we can see the levels coming back, and I can hear an echo of my voice. So that is all working. Other virtual audio drivers are very limited with how you can use them, typically only providing a few audio devices to work with. Source-Nexus Control Panel allows you to create up to 100 virtual audio devices with custom names and number of channels. When used with the Source-Nexus I/O plugin, you can access any of these devices in your DAW without having to set up an aggregate device, which can become quite cumbersome, especially when you have a large number of channels you're working with. And in some cases, it's not even possible to use an aggregate device, such as with Avid HDX hardware.